Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a look with a PR package that I got from Zara Beauty. I'm a big fan of the brand and I've always loved Zara's clothes and the price point, so I'm curious to see how the Zara Beauty makeup line will perform. So this is actually my first time testing out the line and I just want to be honest with you guys on how I feel about it, giving you my first impression. I always want to keep it real with you all. These products were sent to me by Zara Beauty and they did sponsor today's makeup tutorial. So without further ado, let's check out the line. Okay, so this is the PR package that I got in the mail from Zara Beauty. Man, she is heavy. This is a very heavy PR package. It feels really substantial, which I like. The quality feels really nice and I'm excited to show you guys what's on the inside. But before we do, can we take a moment for this box? It's really beautiful. I feel like this is something I would keep. I don't keep all my PR packages, just the good ones. Okay, so first things first, let's start off with talking about the brushes. These brushes have such a cool look to them. I feel like it really matches the brand really well. I love that it matches the overall packaging of all of the products. I'm personally into the white handle and the black fibers, although I will say this white handle is gonna get pretty dirty. You know, being a makeup artist, I just feel like my handles get pretty dirty, so having a darker handle would help. But all in all, I think it's a really cool look. And I personally like that the fiber is black because I find that, you know, when you're working with like brighter tones or darker tones, like darker complexion shades, it tends to stain the fibers. So in this case, that wouldn't be the problem. And the fibers feel pretty soft, honestly. I'm excited to use it on my face, testing out the blush and the bronzer. It looks like I have a foundation brush. I mean, you could use this for concealer, many other things, of course. And we've got some eye brushes. You could also use these for concealer, for lip, you know, sculpting different shadows and shapes on the eyes as well, which is pretty cool. So I've got 3 different shapes right here. And I also got these 2 brushes for powder products. You could use this for bronzer, blush, but again, I need to see how they perform on my face. Okay, so let's start off with the packaging. I'm honestly shocked by the packaging. I'm really into it. I love this embossed logo. I love when brands do that. I just feel like it looks really high-end. It looks really chic. I love the all-white packaging. And I also love the shape of the box. It's really cool. I haven't seen a brand do packaging like this before. And I'm talking about like the actual shape. It's just really interesting. And I don't know, I love that it's different. And another thing that I found pretty cool is that there's a tab right here. I already peeled mine off because I unboxed everything before this video, but there's a little tab right here that you would pull, and I just find that it makes it so much easier when you're trying to unbox your product. So that feels really expensive. It feels really high end, and they've just made it really effortless and easy. Now that I've unboxed it, I just want to start off by saying I really like the weighted feel of this product. It feels heavy, it feels durable, substantial, and it feels expensive. However, the price point is right there in the middle, so it's not going to break the bank. It's not super high end. It's right there in the middle, which is great because it's that affordable price point. So now that I've opened it up, it has a cute little mirror on the inside and it has a bronzer, blush, and highlighter. Okay, so first glance looking at this, it looks like everything has kind of like a high sheen to it, but we're gonna test it on the face. So the bronzer is a sheen, so does the blush, and of course the highlighter is always gonna have a sheen. I went ahead and did a light layer foundation, concealer. I set my skin, I did brows, and I'm gonna do the rest with you guys. Do wish this was a little bit smaller because I typically like to use a smaller bronzer brush. To each his own. But let's give it a shot. I'm gonna try to hold this on the outer corner because I don't want to dip my blush in the brush. Let's load this bad boy up. Okay, she's a little powdery, but let's see how it performs. Okay, so just starting in the hairline, I'm just gonna bring this in a downward direction. Okay, it's cute. It has a nice sheen to it, which is great. I do find it to be really easy to blend. I'd say one of the harder things is making sure that you don't touch the blush whenever you're kind of, you know, working your brush in there. But I'm just gonna follow the perimeter of my forehead and kind of just bring this down and around just to give my skin a little bit more dimension and color. I think I have another bronzer in here too that we should check out. Oh, this is really pretty. Wow, look how pretty these are. I love that you get a blush, a bronzer, and a highlighter. I just think that's a really easy, cool concept. And I don't know which one I like better. I'm kind of leaning towards both. I'm probably gonna use this peachy shade on my cheeks because I feel like that's a little bit more flattering on my skin tone. So let's give it a shot. And I did find 2 other bronzers. So we have one that's a little bit lighter and then we have one that's more of a bit more of like a medium shade. So I'm gonna use the darker one because I feel like I need a little bit more dimension in my skin. But I went ahead and swiped it on the back of my hand, and I find that all the textures have this like a light kind of sheen to it. It's almost like a satin texture, so you do get a nice glow on the skin. So if you are someone that likes more of a shimmery bronzer or bronzer that has more of like a glow sheen to it, I would definitely give these a try. So I'm just gonna smile a little bit so I can apply this on the tops of my cheeks. Ooh, I am chiseled. I feel like it easily blends on the skin, and the tones are a little bit on the cooler side, which I do like. I usually go for something a little bit warmer on my complexion, but I'm not mad at it. I actually like it a lot because I feel like it shapes and sculpts more than it actually bronzes my skin. So same thing on this side. I would say a little goes a long way with the darker shade. I was pretty impressed. So I'm gonna keep this in a more controlled area. So instead of going back and forth, I'm gonna tap this in and then bringing this underneath the jawline just to kind of shade a little bit here. And then I'm just gonna follow the perimeter of my hairline one more time just to make sure that it's nice and bronzed. It has a really cute glow to it though. Just gonna put some bronzer over my nose for more of like a sun-kissed look. I don't wanna do too much sculpting. I kinda want this to be really soft on the skin. Okay, one thing I do wish was that this brush was a little bit more controlled. There was less fibers. So that way I could shade a little bit more because I feel like I didn't have as much control, but overall it felt really soft on my skin, which is great. And I think this would be great for blush as well. And you guys, please excuse my frizzy Middle Eastern hair today. Not much I can do about that. Oh my God. Okay, one thing I need to share with you, this is genius. So all of the packaging comes out. So I do get why the actual name of the product isn't on the back, because it comes on the packaging that's refillable, if that makes sense. I do wish that the name was still on the back of the actual container, but I understand why it's not. It does make complete sense to me. And everything is magnetic. It just clicks right in, which is really cool. So I love that it's all reusable, which is amazing. I mean, that is just like, that is so cool. Ah, genius. Okay, so for blush, I'm gonna be using the middle shade. I love that it's on the peachier side. The pink is also beautiful as well. I personally like when blush has more of a sheen to it because it's gonna give you more of a glow on the cheeks. I would suggest pinching your brush when trying to dip into that middle shade. Just be mindful of that. And I'm just gonna smile so I can get it right above the apples of the cheeks. I don't personally like a lot of blush, so I'm not mad that the texture is really sheer. I do find that to be easy to blend. And the glow is really nice. It's a very light, peachy undertone. And just smiling and applying it above the apples of the cheeks just to lift the face in an upward direction. She's cute, I'm feeling it. I personally like a very lightweight, easy to blend blush, so. Okay, so I am feeling my skin. Overall, I feel like it looks light, it looks soft. There's a little bit of a sheen to it, which I like because that means, you know, that my skin has a little bit of a glow, which is always good. I don't typically do a lot of highlighter on my face, but I will use it sometimes underneath the brow bone to highlight the inner corner of the eyes and the bridge of the nose to create more of an optical illusion to kind of bring the nose in and a little bit more snatched. So you can do that with a brush, but I'm actually just gonna use my pinky and just kind of grab some of this color here and bring this right down the bridge of the nose. And then I always use like another finger just to kind of soften that up. So that way when the light hits it, you get a really beautiful reflect of light. She's cute. Again, I think the formula is really soft, easy to blend, which is wonderful. Okay, so I was on the Zara Beauty website and just being a little bit nosy. Most of the line is made in Italy. I think some of the lipsticks are actually made in Germany, so I find that to be really cool. I love that the products are made in Italy and Germany. And another thing that I noticed is that this line is selling out like crazy. I mean, there was barely anything in stock last time I checked. So if you guys get your hands on any of these products, I'm really curious to know what you think. But let's get into these eyeshadows. So far, I was really impressed with the texture and the formula. It feels pigmented when I touch it with my fingers and it feels really rich. You guys know, I mean, that's really important to me as a makeup artist, but let's try it on my eyes because that's always different. Now, I do find this color story to be really interesting. There was something that drew me to this eyeshadow palette, and I felt like I needed to create something with these tones. I normally wouldn't go for tones in this color range, but there's something, I don't know, there's something so interesting about it. I definitely see this for Zara, and I was really inspired by the colorway. So let's get into it. So I'm gonna start off with this one. And I'm gonna go in with this kind of like an olive tone, more of like a khaki shade, olive khaki moment. And I'm gonna start off by keeping this in the outer corner of the eye. Just kind of going back and forth, blending out what I have on the brush. There is some fallout with these eyeshadows, so just make sure that you are doing some tapping before applying it to the eyes. I'm also gonna bring this right underneath the lash line, just with whatever's left over, just to kind of smoke that out a bit. Add a little shadow in between the lashes. So I'm just packing this in. It's a pretty nice dense brush, so you can pack really well. I'm getting a lot of pigment and color payoff with this brush. And I do like this color. It almost looks kind of like a grayish black, like it's in that family, but it has like those khaki olive undertones that I think is really beautiful. And as I work my way to the outer corner, I'm just being really light-handed. I feel like that's even really cool. I could just pop mascara on and be done with it. I mean, I could shape it more, but I kind of like that smudgy, unfinished kind of look. And I think that goes with Zara's whole brand aesthetic, which is really cool. So using a pressed powder, I'm just gonna kind of dip into the pressed powder that's my skin tone, and using the flat brush from Zara, I'm just gonna kind of clean this up a little bit. I didn't want to use concealer or makeup remover because I don't want it to be too sharp, so I'm just using a pressed powder. And just using a Kleenex, I'm honestly just kind of wiping off any leftover eyeshadow that's on the brush so I can use it for other shades. Okay, so using this green gold type of tone, I'm gonna take that same brush and kind of dip right here. And I'm just gonna bring this into the inner corner of the eye, and I think I'm gonna wet it. Just spray the tip of the brush, and then I am dipping that into the eyeshadow palette. Oh yeah, that really intensified the pigmentation. So I brought it down to the inner corner of the eye and basically just blended this out right below the crease. So it's mainly on the eyelid, and then I just kind of swooped this in an upward direction. Now taking this really beautiful forest emerald type of green shade, I'm gonna use the flat brush, and I'm gonna be bringing this right above the line that we've created here. I'm blending over the line, and I'm also blending above it. Okay, so mixing these two shades here, this is more of like a pinky, creamy kind of tone, and then I'm also taking this light green shade, mixing these together, just bringing it through the center. And then I'm gonna wipe off this brush, and just taking this light pinky tone, I'm actually gonna swoop this right on top and kind of using this as a brow highlight. Now I normally wouldn't put this much shimmer and frost on my eyes, but I do feel like it has more of an editorial vibe and feel to it, and I'm into it. I actually like it a lot on myself, and I'm pretty impressed. I feel like we need to just go for it. I mean, we're already there. I might as well use every single color in this palette. So I'm gonna take this really beautiful deep blue, and also has a green undertone to it, and using the more concealer looking type of brush. This is basically like a flat shader brush. I'm gonna apply this right underneath the lash line, basically overlapping the green that we put in the inner corner, that green gold. That's what we needed, a little smoke show. I feel like this just gave my eyes the lift that I needed. I mean, in comparison to my other eye, I mean, she's lifted and sculpted now. So I will be right back. I'm gonna go and do my other eye and see you in a minute. Okay, so I am back. I went ahead and finished off this look with a little bit of mascara, and then I tight lined my eyes with a black eyeliner. And I just feel like that really brought the eye look together. It still looks really editorial to me, which I love because I feel like that screams Zara Beauty. Zara really exudes editorial looks, and I am here for it. I'm loving it. And I gotta be honest with you, I heard a lot of mixed reviews on this green eye palette specifically from Zara Beauty, but I don't know why, because it's stunning. Honestly, I'm here for it. I really, really love the green and gold blended into like that emerald green, into that dark greeny blue. I just think it's such a beautiful color story, and I love to see it. So I'm excited to see what Zara Beauty does next in the eye category. Okay, so let's talk about lipstick. Again, the packaging is super cool. I love how everything is magnetic and it just kind of clicks in. It feels really heavy and substantial, which I love, seeing that it feels luxurious, but it's at that middle price point, so which makes it affordable. And I'm gonna do a few swatches. Man, the lipsticks are everything, I have to say. They just go on so smooth, they just glide on so creamy. I mean, it's so rich and pigmented, and I'm loving this tone. Okay, so this next one is such a beautiful peachy shade again, Obsessed. It just glides on my wrist so easily. I'm gonna have a hard time picking what lip color to do. I saw a lot of inspiration with like a red lip with the green eyes, and oh, it's so beautiful. I do find that to be a lot on me, so I'm probably gonna go with a more neutral everyday lip color just to play it safe. But I do love the idea of doing like a red lip with this eye story. So there's a few different textures when it comes to the lipsticks. This one that I'm trying right here, it has more of a sheen to it. So it just depends on what you're into. If you want more of a lightweight lipstick, they've definitely got you covered in that category. And if you want more opaque, full coverage, Zara Beauty has that covered too, which is great to see. Okay, so far this is what I have for lipsticks. I'm loving the different tones. This is very Zara, if you ask me. You've really got all the neutrals, you've got more of like a peachy, warm tones, and of course you have that iconic signature red lip that we always see the models wearing on the Zara website. I think I'm gonna put one of my lip liners on just really lightly so I can apply one of the lighter colors, so I'll be right back. So I believe this is shade UM701, and it is more of a peachy tone. I'm already obsessed with it. I feel like it's gonna go perfectly with this green eye story. It's gonna complement it so well, I already know. Obsessed. And I love the way it feels on my lips too. It has a really nice, smooth, cushioned feel, which I'm obsessed with. I usually look for lipsticks that feel like that because I wanna have that comfort throughout the day. And I'm just gonna use my finger to kind of work it in. I love it. I feel like it's exactly what the look needed. Something peachy to give me a little bit of color, but it's still neutral and wearable, and I'm into this look. So that's a wrap on today's makeup tutorial. The products are pretty lightweight and easy to blend, which is great for beginners. And my favorite product would have to be the lipsticks because they are so creamy and they just feel luxurious on the lips. And I do think the eyeshadows have a very interesting color story. I mean, I had no idea what direction this was going to go with my makeup, but I just did it on the spot with you guys with no plan, and I love the way that it turned out. So all in all, I'm really happy with the line, and I'm very curious to know what products you guys are loving from today's tutorial. So please comment down below what you would like to try out. And I'll see you guys soon. So far, this is what I have for, oops, it's hard to see. Okay, so I am back and I went ahead and always view your successes as just the tip of the iceberg.